In today's lesson, we're going to use number lines to find sums. What we need to do is look at the numbers and we're going to determine if we're moving to the right if they're positive or to the left if they're negative. In the first one, we're going to add 2 plus 3. So we always start at 0. 2 is telling me I'm going to move 2 to the right. Plus 3 means I'm going to move 3 more to the right. So from here, keep moving 3 over. That takes me to a final answer of 5. In the next one, we start at 0. We have a negative 4. We have to travel 4 left to get to that spot on the number line. From here, we're adding 7, which means we're moving to the right 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sometimes I'll do that first so that I can actually draw my line a little bit easier. That takes me to a final answer of 3. The next example, I'm adding negative 5 plus 6. Start at 0. Go to negative 5, and then I'm going to move 6 to the right, which takes me to 1. The next one, negative 4 plus 2. Start at 0, move left 4 to get to negative 4. Plus 2 is going to make me move right 2, which will take me to negative 2 for my answer. Last number line here, start at 0. I need to go to negative 1. And I'm adding a negative 4, which tells me to go 4 more to the left. That takes me to a final answer of negative 5. There are things called opposites or additive inverses. So what we do is we have examples. So if we had negative 2 and 2, they're called opposites or additive inverses. We can also have lots of other examples. 1/2 and negative 1/2. 6 and negative 6. Negative 10 and 10. Notice how they're the same number, they just have different signs with them. So what happens when we add them together? So if we were to add negative 2 plus 2, start at 0, go left to get to negative 2. To add 2, we move right 2, and notice we come right back to 0. The idea of opposites or additive inverses is that we end up with the answer of 0 when we add them together. So negative 2 plus 2 equals 0. Here's a couple of real-world examples. A fisherman drops his net to a depth of negative 8 feet below the surface. So here's the water. He's going to drop his net, and down here this is 8 feet. Because it's below the water, we call it negative 8 feet. How far does he need to raise the net to bring it back to the surface of the water? Obviously, from our picture, to bring it back up, he's going to have to go positive 8 to get it back to the top. 8 and negative 8 are additive inverses. A bird is 7 feet above the ground. What integer would you use to represent the distance he needs to fly to get back? He's up above the ground. So here's your picture, and here's your bird flying. Right now he's 7 feet. To get back down, you would have to go negative 7 feet. On the next page are rules for adding integers because we're not always going to use a number line. When signs are the same, you add the numbers and keep the sign. So if they're both negative, you'll just add up your negatives and keep the negative sign. When they're different, I'm going to ask you to think of it as a battle or think of it as a war or a game. Who's going to win? Which team has more players on it? And you're going to keep that sign and find out how many more players they have. Look at number 1, negative 7 plus negative 3. Both of them are negative, so signs are the same. Add the numbers, keep the sign. First write your negative because your answer is going to stay negative. 7 plus 3 is 10. In number 2, this is a positive 8 and a negative 4. They're different. Which team has more players on it? The positive team. So our answer is going to be positive. You don't have to write that little plus, but I do it to remind myself that I already figured out the sign. If they have 8 players and they have 4 players, they have 4 more players. So they win by 4. 8 plus a negative 2. 8 plus a negative 2, they're different signs. The 8s are going to win, and they're going to win by 6. Another way of thinking about this is if I have money, I have $8 in my pocket, but I owe Mrs. Jacoby $2. Once I pay her back, I'm only going to have $6 left. Look at number 4, negative 9 plus a negative 10. In this case, you can also think about it as money. I owe her $9 and I owe her another $10. Altogether, I owe her 19, so my answer is negative. Or just look, keep the negative, 9 plus 10 is 19. Negative 4 plus negative 5 is negative, and 4 plus 5 is 9. Negative 4 plus 16, I can think about it as either the battle, the positive team's going to win and they're going to win by 12, or I can say I owe Mrs. Jacoby $4 and I got $16 today, so after I pay her back, I will still have 12. Take a minute, you're going to go ahead and do these 3 practice problems on the number lines, so pause the video, practice with them, and when you come back, you'll be able to see the answers. And here you go. These are the answers to the practice problems with the number lines. You can see the answers there. Go ahead, use the rules to add these integers below. Pause the video to do that, and when you come back, you'll see the answers to check yourself. Go ahead, check your answers. When you flip the page, you're going to notice there's another set of problems up at the top. Pause the video. We're going to do the first one together, actually, just to give you a little help. I'm going to start off, 7 plus 2 is 9, plus a negative 5. We usually put this negative in parentheses just so there's no confusion that it's a subtraction sign, so we just kind of do that. In this case, it's the battle, or you think about it as owing money. I end up with $4 still in my wallet. We'll do this one too. Negative 2 plus 3 is 1, plus a negative 4, which is going to give me negative 3. Pause the video to do the next couple, and then you can check your answers. There you go. Those are the answers to those problems, and that's the end of our lesson.